aren't more people Nazis? That's a question I never thought I would ask myself until very recently when I read about a survey conducted by the University of Virginia, Reuters, and Ipsos, in which they asked more than 5,000 American adults their views on race. The poll was conducted shortly after the deadly neo-Nazi rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. And the good news is that only 4% of respondents said that they supported neo-Nazis. Although that's not really good because that's still like 200 people in a random sample of Americans, but I digress. Also, only 8% said that they supported white supremacists. The bad news is that many of those people actually held views compatible with neo-Nazis and white supremacists. For instance, 31% of respondents agreed that, and I quote, "America must protect and preserve its white European heritage." That's kind of the central tenet of white nationalist neo-Nazis. 16% agreed that marriage should only be allowed between members of the same race. They're not saying they don't like interracial marriage. They're saying that it should be illegal. That's some Nazi shit right there. Also, 39% thought that white people are under attack in the United States. And to make matters even worse, 14% of all respondents said that white people are the only race under attack in the United States. 14% thought that. Like, they literally don't think people of color have anything to worry about at all. And all of that is not to mention the huge number of people who neither agreed nor disagreed with many of those statements. The researchers point out that many of those non-committal answers came from people who skewed more towards the bigoted side than the progressive side. So here we have a bunch of people espousing every single belief that the neo-Nazis stand for, and yet they don't say they support neo-Nazis. Thinking this over, I realized that more people aren't Nazis not because they're good people who believe in equality, but because Nazis have a public relations problem. Consider the alt-right, which the survey also asked about, and slightly more people said they approved of the alt-right compared to the neo-Nazis, 6% versus 4%, even though they're the same thing. And about twice as many people said that they didn't support or oppose the alt-right compared to neo-Nazis. That's 19% versus 10%, meaning that way more people oppose neo-Nazis than oppose the alt-right. The alt-right, in other words, was a very smart rebranding move on the part of Nazis. Kids on 4chan and Reddit proudly declare that they're alt-right because it seems cool. Kids who would probably never actually want to identify as Nazis. For that reason, it's more important than ever to publicly voice the fact that the alt-right is just a rebranding of Nazism. And even if a person doesn't identify as a Nazi or alt-right, they need to be told when they're sharing Nazi propaganda. They'll cry about it the same way people cry when they're told they're being racist or sexist. But when they walk away from you, they might, hopefully, finally start to rethink their biases.